Hey guys, this is Trupti Nayak. Welcome back to FashionMoksha. Today's video is going to be a tutorial on this Indian kurta. I'll be traveling to India in a month or so. I wanted to wear lots of Indian kurtis when I'm back there, and I thought why not DIY some kurtis. So this is gonna be that tutorial. I paired it with white leggings. You can pair it with colorful leggings, colorful dupattas, and customize the way you want it. That's the reason I planned on stitching a white kurti. This has Potli buttons and lace around the neck and hands. You can also put some embroidered lace around the neck and sleeves and also match that with the dupatta. It would look so good. And yeah, let's get on to the video. Before that, make sure you have subscribed to my channel to get notified of the videos, and also turn on the bell button to notify whenever I post new videos. I'm planning to post more pictures of the kurta on the blog, so make sure to check out my blog. I'm planning on buying a new vlogging camera so that I can vlog when I'm in India and post those videos. So let's hope that turns out how it's planned. And also give this video a thumbs up if you like the video. And yeah, that's it guys. See you in the next video. Bye!
To start the kurti, first let's begin with the lining. I have taken a fabric which is about 37 inches long and about 32 inches wide. To begin the marking, start from the top, and armhole marking would be at 7 inches. Waist marking would be at 14.5 inches and the hip marking would be at 21 inches. For understanding, I have inserted this image. You can pause and take a look. From center front, take 8 3/4 inches and make a mark. Now for the next one, measure your breast and add 4 inches for the allowance. Divide it by 4, that is 9.25 in my case. And the next marking would be your first marking, which is 8 3/4 minus 2 1/4, which is gonna be 6.5. So for the second line, you have two markings, which is 6.5 and your breast size divided by 4. And for the third one, it's gonna be your waist size. For this, add 2.5 inches of allowance, then divide by 4 and mark it. In my case, it's gonna be 8 inches. And for the hips, just divide your hip size by 4, because we have folded the fabric in half and there are front and back, so that's why divided by 4. Now we are done with all the marking. For the armhole marking, join 8 3/4 mark and 6.5 mark and join rest of the markings as shown. Also take 1 inch from the top and slope it down. This is to make sure that the kurti fits properly on your shoulders. You can pause and refer to this diagram if you have any confusions on the markings. I'm going to transfer the marking on this side on the other side as well, so that it will guide me when I'm stitching. I'm cutting the notches at all the major markings so that I have a guidance when I'm stitching. For the back lining, trace the front one. Just make sure that the armhole is not as curvy as the front, and also leave 1 inch at the top of the kurti. Now trace the same pattern front and back both on your main piece. Make sure that you have left at least 3 inches on the bottom. We want the main fabric to be longer than the lining. For the sleeve, take a fabric which is half or a 1 inch longer than your desired length. fold it in half. From the top of the sleeve, mark it about 7 inches, and from there approximately 3.5 inches. From there, mark a curve till the top of the fabric. Measure how loose you want the sleeves to fit on your hand and accordingly mark the tip of the fabric. In my case, it's about 4.5 inches. The curve on the front part of the sleeve will be little deeper than the back. That's what I'm doing there. Now for the neck part, I'm using this heat bond sheet of paper which can be ironed on one side. I've taken this about 9.5 inches wide. I want my neck to be 7 inches wide, that's why I'm marking 7 by 2, 3.5 inches. You can increase it if you want the wider neck, and I want my neck to be 7.5 inches deep. I have marked even there. I want a round neck, that's why I'm making the curve using a French curve. And then on the center front, I'm marking about 6 inches deep mark, very thin line. This is gonna be for the hooks and the button. You can make it how much ever deep you want. Now I'm gonna leave about an inch and cut the rest. Take a fabric which fits this neck part and iron it. Trim off the excess. Make a notch at the center so it's easy to match it onto the main fabric. I'm slashing the rest of the fabric so that I can fold and stitch it easily. Same holds good for the back. Now we have all the patterns ready. I'm gonna hem the lining part and come back. Now right side of the lining facing to the wrong side of the main fabric, stitch on the sides, armhole and even the shoulders. Once you're done with that, take a neck piece that you prepared and stitch it on the edge, not on the paper but just on the edge. Pin it for the convenience. Once you're done, just make sure you don't cut the actual stitching. After slashing, I'm gonna reverse it for a neat neck. Now I'm gonna iron it so that everything stays in place. You can use a stitch on machine or hem by hand. I hem by hand. Now it's time to attach front part of the kurti to the back part. Just stitch on the shoulder because we are yet to attach the sleeves. Now reversing the sleeve. Now matching the center notch, I'm gonna pin it all the way through. Once I'm done with the sleeve stitching, I'm gonna stitch the sides of the hand and also the kurti. Make sure you stitch the kurti only till half because we want the side slit for the kurti. I tried on and wanted to shorten sleeves a bit and also the length. Now I'm gonna hem the bottom and also the sleeves. Side slit, just fold the fabric twice and give it a stitch. Now you're practically done with the kurta. Only the potli button is left. Now take the buttons which you want. I'm using this satin fabric from my palazzo pant tutorial. I'll link that video for you guys. I'm covering this button in that fabric and stitching it. Make sure the entire button is covered. Once you are just done stitching, make sure you wrap the thread all around so that it's secured and tie a knot. I'm gonna trim the excess fabric. I did the same to the rest of the buttons. Make a marking how apart you want this potli buttons to be and start stitching. You want a dory thread for the loops for these buttons to go in. I'll link a video where you can see how it's easy to make those dory. Cut those dory for about 1.5 inches and place it so that the buttons go into those hoops. And finally you're done. You can add fancy embroidered border to the neck and sleeves. I went on with the simple one. You can add mirrored one like I'm showing. I just went with this off-white lace on the hands and on the neck. That's it for the video, guys. Bye.